Welcome to the first edition of the Week in Review, presented by the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service. The Week in Review will focus on the top stories of the past week. I am Jamiana McPhail. St. Kitts will host the playoffs and finals of the Hero Caribbean Premier League CPL in 2016. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Sports, the Honorable Sean K. Richards, made the exciting announcement while on stage at Sunday's White Sands Rio. Hosting the finals for the second time, the Warner Park venue will see fans from throughout the region and beyond on August 3rd for the first of the playoff games. The series, which has been described as the biggest party in sports, will come to a close on August 7th.
And is this going to be a wicket?
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, has disclosed several transfers to be made in a number of senior civil servant positions.
In that regard, I want to say that we have taken certain personal decisions, which I would announce now, that Mr. Andrew Skerritt, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, he's on leave, and when that leave is ended, he will be transferred to the Office of the Prime Minister to address initiatives relating to my lead responsibility in CARICOM Quasi-Cabinet for Health, HIV, and Human Resources. That is where he will be. Mr. Skerritt, background as a health planner and experience as a permanent secretary in health makes him an ideal candidate to liaise with the international community with regard to these issues. Health, HIV in particular, liaising with PAHO, with PANCAB, with whoever else they are necessary. I know and I expect that we will work together. I've discussed this with him. We consulted. As is the style of this government. We consult, but it will take time. But you end up with buy-in. And so he knows we expect the best, and I expect that he will give the country the best. Mrs. Ione Liebert-Willett, who has been serving as a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education and related ministries since 2011, will be transferred into interim as permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health. I want to wish her well, and I know that she will bring her quiet, mature approach as an educator, as a mother, and bring all of that experience to bear in helping in the forward thrust of the Ministry of Health. Experience matters, and the Ministry of Health will not be left wanted. I want to say that the Minister of Education, to thank him and to thank her. Again, we consulted on these things in relation to that particular judicious choice. The Ministry of Education then will need a permanent secretary, and the Honorable Minister has already tapped into one of our accomplished educators residing abroad to come home to serve as a permanent secretary.
With the pre-retired Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Patrick Martin, slated to demit office after his vacation leave, Prime Minister Harris announced that the Medical Chief of Staff and Chief Surgeon at the Joseph N. Franz General Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, is now the acting Chief Medical Officer.
Thank Dr. Cameron, because as he has done in the past, he has agreed to serve as a CMO. And we couldn't find in this country anyone that would surpass him in qualification, in experience, and knowledge. Give him a round of applause.
St. Kitts and Nevis's first Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Excellence and the Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons, made history as the first national hero to be living when he was conferred on Tuesday with the highest award of the country, the Order of National Hero. He was among two other distinguished nationals of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis who were awarded for their sterling contribution to nation building at an investiture ceremony held by His Excellency the Governor-General, Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton.
As I indicated, the Right Excellent and Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Simmons, who towers above us all and who has shown by his leadership and by his example what can be achieved for our country if we simply put our hands and hearts to the wheel.
Known in the Calypso arena as This and That, Mr. Scarborough won the coveted Culturama Calypso title for 10 years. He has represented Nevis in several regional and international Calypso forums. He has also run for representation politics in the St. Thomas constituency on Nevis. Another awardee, Ms. Clarita Violetta Richards, was bestowed with the honor of Officer of the Most High Order of the British Empire. Ms. Richards has served as a long-standing public servant. She has worked in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the diplomatic service at the High Commission in London. She has been the organist and choir director of the Zion Moravian Church for many years. And in more news, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, has rubbished claims that his administration is rife with dysfunction and that there have been attempts made to strip him of his position of Prime Minister. Speaking at his monthly press conference on June 29, 2016, Prime Minister Harris indicated that the opposition has initiated its propaganda machine with the aim of eroding confidence in the government of national unity.
Well, you're going to hear more of the propaganda machine that she has resigned, that there has been a conspiracy against Harris, and that Harris has been given 1 month to go and somebody else will take over.
Dismissing these statements as comments of the bitter election losers, Dr. Harris explains that the members of the Team Unity administration formed a team at work for the people.
But I want to say to the country, this is a team at work for the people. And whatever may have been our own personal frailties, we have been able to subordinate those in the interest of national good. It was national good that brought the team together. We were coming from different perspectives.
Dr. Harris indicated that the people of the Federation are not fooled. He expressed confidence in the electorate.
They, faced with a choice, chose Team Unity and gave the country, once in a moment, an opportunity for reconciliation, for healing, and for national unity. And we would want to fulfill that mandate. We will work hard against the odds, against every challenge. And when the time comes again, I am very confident and optimistic that the people will look beyond the noise, the hypocrisy of those who are opposing us to the good that we have done. And we have done such a fantastic job in a short period of time.
Thanking members of his cabinet, Prime Minister Harris said that his government's commitment to the people of the Federation has never wavered. The fishing vessel FV Transformation was officially commissioned and introduced to fisherfolk during a ceremony at the Basseterre Fisheries Complex in celebration of Caribbean Fisherfolk Day on Tuesday, June 29, 2016. The vessel, which was valued at US $500,000, was procured through a bilateral arrangement between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the government of Japan. The Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, briefly explains that the FP transformation will prove very beneficial to the Department of Marine Resources.
Today, as part of the celebration of Fisherfolk Day, I therefore, as Minister, am very pleased to engage in the commissioning of this vessel. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis wants to thank you, the fishers, for your invaluable contribution to our fisheries sector. And I want to encourage you to continue working diligently to provide for your family by sustainably utilizing the fishing resources in our federal waters. My government is here to support you in every step of the way.
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, announced at his press conference on June 29th that Senator Perkins had resigned as Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly and that a new Deputy Speaker will be nominated and elected at a subsequent sitting of Parliament.
The Deputy Speaker basically has created a vacancy, and that will address at the next subsequent meeting of the Parliament. That is in keeping properly with the constitutional requirements.
The Honorable Perkins was elected Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly on the 14th of May 2015 at the start of the new term pursuant to the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis. The Honorable Perkins was elected Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly on the 14th of May 2015 at the start of the new term pursuant to the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis. Mr. Perkins has conducted the affairs of the National Assembly on several occasions. You have been watching the Week in Review presented by the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service. I am Jamiela McPhail. See you next time.